The doomsday prepper. He is waiting for the end of the world. He isn't just waiting for it, he secretly craves it.
This is fine.
In his tiny studio apartment, 3 closets are stacked to the brim with canned meat that expired back during the first wave of COVID. He owns 4 ham radios, a Geiger counter, a hazmat suit, and a massive backpack known as a bug-out bag. The bag weighs 100 pounds. The prepper himself weighs 130 and gets winded walking up 2 flights of stairs when the elevator breaks.
Come on. Come on. Almost there. What? No. Oh.
All of his firearms are strictly quiet and autonomous. He bought a pump-action shotgun and hacksawed the barrel right down to the legal limit so he can effectively clear hallways of raiders. On his balcony, he keeps a crossbow hidden because the gunpowder will eventually run out, but you can make arrows out of tree branches. He has a flawlessly detailed evacuation plan into the deep woods. The plan is perfect, except for the fact that he doesn't own a car, and walking down the street with a 100-pound pack and a crossbow will get him detained by the first police cruiser within 200 yards of his building. When the power goes out in his neighborhood for 2 hours, he instantly throws on full camouflage, draws a survival knife with a sawback blade, and starts frantically barricading his front door with kitchen chairs. 2 hours later, the lights come back on. He sighs, takes off his plate carrier, and goes back to eating cold ramen, thinking to himself, well, next time for sure. The Warzone Tactical Pro. He spends hours sweating in Call of Duty and genuinely believes his gaming skills translate 100% into real-life weapon manipulation. He shows up to the range fully convinced that real firearms obey the laws of the game's current meta. He picks up an actual AR-15, and the very first thing he does is complain about the terrible visual recoil and poor weapon handling. He is genuinely shocked that you can't just slap a suppressor the size of a baguette and a 100-round drum magazine onto a pistol while still sprinting like an Olympic track star. When he shoots, he instinctively tries to slide cancel or bunny hop sideways while reloading. The first time he attempted this at the range, he almost broke his ankle and nearly got a lifetime ban from the range safety officer. At home, he has an airsoft rifle that he spray-painted neon pink because it looks like a legendary blueprint from the Battle Pass. He explains to his friends on Discord with absolute sincerity that if a grid-down scenario happens, he's just going to hold the high ground and camp the snipers. On real-life range days, after 3 shots without proper ear pro, his ears start ringing, his face is covered in carbon, and the actual recoil hits his shoulders so hard he immediately misses his controller. He goes back to his gaming desk and types a 500-word essay on Reddit about how real guns have an unbalanced damage model and broken hitboxes. The just as good guy, he genuinely believes that anyone who spends more than $400 on a firearm is just a victim of marketing and a major snob. His personal favorites are a Hi-Point 9mm or the cheapest Taurus available to him. This is the absolute peak of budget engineering. He'll look at your custom Daniel Defense rifle, smirk, and say, "Man, why did you waste $3 grand? My Palmetto State Armory rifle shoots just as good. There's zero difference." His ultimate argument in every single debate is, a bullet from my cheap gun kills just as dead as yours. The fact that his bolt carrier group jams every 3 rounds and his accuracy looks like a spray from a garden hose doesn't faze him at all. He just insists. It's a bad batch of ammo. He only logs onto gun forums to leave angry comments under reviews of premium brands. If someone praises a Trijicon optic, he'll immediately reply, "My $40 Amazon Red Dot has been holding 0 for 2 years. You guys are just paying for the name." Meanwhile, his cheap optic is mounted backwards, and he only goes shooting once a year. His perfect day is buying a used nylon holster on clearance, stuffing his brick-heavy Hi-Point into it, and feeling like he beat the system. A true economic genius. If only economics were made of jammed casings. The AliExpress Commando. He doesn't have the cash for authentic gear from Magpul, EOTech, or Holosun. But what he does have is an active AliExpress account and boundless faith in Chinese manufacturing. His rifle looks like it was bitten by a transformer. His barrel is covered in 3 separate Picatinny quad rails, holding a laser sight, a flashlight with a strobe mode, a tactical vertical grip pod, and a red dot sight that cost him $15. He assures everyone, "Why overpay for a brand? The Chinese make these in the exact same factories. My red dot can hold up to 12-gauge recoil. I read it in the reviews." On his very first shot, the glass flies straight out of his red dot. On the second shot, his laser starts pointing towards Beijing, and the tactical grip snaps off, staying in his hand separately from the gun.
What? What the f?
He is not discouraged, he says. It's just a factory defect. I'll order a different clone. The reviews on that one are better. His apartment is buried under packages from Shenzhen. He owns tactical slings that rip under the weight of the sling itself, and mag pouches that drop magazines every time he takes a step. When he posts photos of his setup on gun forums, the old-timers start crying, tears of blood, and instantly ban him for violating aesthetics. But he's proud. He saved a ton of money. Granted, it is now physically impossible to shoot this 18-pound monster. The space magic guy. This man despises the ordinary. If you tell him you bought a standard AR-15 or a Glock, he will look at you with deep pity, like a nobleman looking at a peasant rejoicing over a loaf of bread. His motto is, "A firearm must evoke confusion." He rolls up to the range with a massive hard case, and inside is something that looks like a cross between a Star Wars blaster and a plumbing fixture. He brings out a Kel-Tec Sub-2000 that folds completely in half, or some obscure Italian rifle whose ammunition hasn't been manufactured since 1994. When asked, "Why on earth did you buy this?" he gives a mysterious smile and starts a 40-minute lecture on the unique roller-delayed blowback system and the sheer genius of mechanical engineering. He spends 80% of his time not shooting, but hunting for spare parts on shady international forums. Every single shot he fires is a financial tragedy, because one round costs as much as a nice steak dinner. His wife thinks he's investing in rare gold coins because the numbers leaving his bank account defy all human logic. When someone at the range walks up and asks, "Wow, what is that ugly piece of junk?" a blissful smile appears on his face. He lives for that exact second of pure, unadulterated human confusion. The Glock fanboy. He bought a Glock, not because it's just a pistol, but because it's the pinnacle of Austrian perfection. He'll look you dead in the eye and say, "Bro, a Glock shoots underwater, in the mud, and even if it gets run over by a tank." Meanwhile, he meticulously cleans his gun after every 10 rounds in a pristine indoor range. But the best part? He swears the Glock is absolutely perfect straight out of the box.
Not.
Then, 5 minutes later, he spends $2,000 on a custom slide with speed cuts, a threaded titanium barrel, a competition trigger, tritium night sights, and a weapon light the size of a thermos. The only thing left from the original gun is the plastic frame and the serial number. You ask him, if it's so perfect out of the box, why did you replace literally everything? He looks at you like you're insane and says, "You don't get it, man. It's ergonomics." At the range, he shoots exclusively in tactical gloves, locks his face into a severe tactical scowl, and checks his chamber after every single string of fire like he's clearing a house in Fallujah. Before bed, he posts a photo on his cleaning mat. The shot always includes a Microtech knife, a G-Shock watch, and a Molon Labe patch. He hasn't felt the touch of a woman in years, but he owns 3 different Kydex holsters for the exact same gun. Alright guys, be honest in the comments which one of these stereotypes describes your buddy, or even worse, describes you. The channel is growing fast, and I want to say a massive thank you to everyone supporting the project, especially to the guys who are still writing in the comments that the AK can shoot through a railroad track lengthwise. You guys are a special breed, never change. And remember, watching this video and not subscribing to the channel is a move that only Turkish semi-auto shotgun owners would pull. The ones whose guns jam on every single shell. You're not one of those guys, right? Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.